can the 4-4 cover 2 invert be a base defense?
Yeah, if you cross man like a boss.
All right, so 4-4, it's in many, many playbooks this year. You go to the cover 2 invert. At the start of the year, this was good run defense. It's probably still pretty good run defense because you got 8 dudes in the box. And even if you spread it out, look at how your zones like fan out, right? So especially if you say you like your base aligned or whatever, get those guys to head out. Do you like this? People told me at the first event, yo, if this guy runs cover 4 or 4-4 against me, I'm gonna bomb him downfield. Like I'm gonna wait and get patient and have a big time dot.
Just get toasty.
But I have trouble sometimes against this if they have a really good team. What do you think?
I think it's an intimidating front. I think one thing I would really be worried about is we don't have it here.
How would you run it? You just cross man?
Well, what I worry about is this out here. Like, that guy, he's going to get out there in time, but like, because you have no default flat outside by a corner, you're going to, like, your opponent, if they're smart, that's like a focal point of what they're going to do to attack you, right?
Right.
And the other thing, too, the invert, your safeties, they do break in, but that's why you have a chance to give up the big plays because like they're not dropping true back. They have to cave in a little bit, right? So the other thing too, I think this is very viable. Like if you were going to face bunch here, you'd have to commit one resource to the guy you think that's going to run the vertical here. So like Hill or the tight ends.
By a cross man or?
Yeah, you have to dedicate one of them to it, right? Definitely, and then you have to put one on the Z spot. And my main question is, how do you generate pressure from it? Like, as long as you can get pressure?
Yeah, you need to get pressure.
And then the weakness of that is, to get the pressure, you're going to first look to blitz those outside linebackers, and then you're taking your flats away. So then now you got to drop it into... So, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of adjustments. And, what's the benefit? Is it because you stack the box? Well, people don't really run the ball that much anyways anymore. Right? It's kind of a passing game.
Well, a couple people in the chat are saying that it shouldn't be good run defense, but it is. I think as long as you get the safety up, it's pretty good run defense. You have every gap covered with it. So here's the run front. You obviously want to slide this dude out. Obviously Nelson, he's here, but you can user him in the middle because he's in a mid read. He's not in a deep zone. Like he's gonna.
The play is designed for him to stay underneath. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So.
I see a lot of people, they do is...
Razorman says streak the middle to pull the safeties and then delay the fade outside.
Yeah, what I see a lot of people do is they put Nelson on a deep zone.
Yeah.
Now bring him in the box.
And then he covers the crossman himself, kind of.
Well, then you use another guy underneath. You're basically making a cover 3. You're making a tighter cover 3.
Right.
Is the idea, and then you user someone underneath. So like what I've seen people do a lot out of that too is they'll switch up. Now this is where identified lineman comes into play, but I've actually struggled where I'm like, are they on the deep safety? Are they using them? Are they in the box? Like, because they've changed their user up, and then sometimes Nelson would be the user, sometimes they'd put him deep. So I felt that was a very strong thing that this formation provided. I also think that it's probably a really good all-out coverage defense. If you user Nelson, you blitz him and user him, and then drop both your DNs and cross-man the DNs on guys you're worried about, and just be committed to all right, that's what I'm gonna do, like the D Jones, right? And then user Nelson, and then you have 4 zones underneath, you're cross-manning, and then you leave one flat. You leave one flat, which is in a cloud flat.
Yeah.
And then you user Nelson all over the field. And then you rush 2. You got all these guys in the box to help for run support, and then snap of the ball. You got great coverage. You drop into coverage, and there's just so much stuff covered. But I'm gonna dots on you.
Oh, tip drill. I like this defense on the goal line. That's the only place I personally run it. I get afraid I'm going to get bombed downfield. Every time I've used it, I've never been bombed downfield, but I feel like I'm going to, and then I don't really have a way to blitz out of it. I'm sure there's plenty of ways with 8 dudes in the box to bring pressure. I just haven't explored it. I think nickel blitz 2 is 10 times better. So that's what I would say. If you want to be different, be different. But at the start of the year, people ran this because they didn't have much else, and they went away from it as the more and more they learned about the game. I guess as your team gets more and more powerful, it can be better because your dudes are going to be faster.
You can get a lot of value to this formation out of linebackers because you can get 6 linebackers on the field.
Yep.
Right? So that's a strength. It's a big time plus because linebackers, a lot of hit power, a lot of speed. Get a lot of. I mean, you can get the Sean Taylors of the world, the Shazirs of the world, and it's like you have corners out there, right? But you have them as linebackers. So there's
Ryan Berry says he sees this for pressure.
Yeah, I'm sure that
Yeah.
there's definitely ways to get
Yeah.
it. There's definitely ways to get it.
Little Z spot though, carve you up.
Ah.
Carve you up.
Good is Z-spot. It's been good for years.
It's a good play. That is what you want to do if you could run 4-4 as a base defense. All right, next mailbag question. This one from Underdog 810. He wants to know, Gibbs, can you lock up out of the 4-3 defense?